going on, guys? This is DJ with All Day DFS, checking back in with the After Dark edition. I hope y'all guys had a great night. I hope y'all guys cashed in. Y'all got that bag. Let me know down below. Let me know how it went for y'all guys. Did y'all guys cash in? Did y'all guys, did somebody ruin your night? Let me know who brought it home for you. Let me know who ruined your night, because you know there's always 1, 2, 3, who knows how many of those guys. There's always that one guy. It's the guy that you expect to hit the most, and he always lets you down. Let me know if that happened to you. I had that happen to me. Me, myself, I had a good night. I did profit tonight. I played light just because it was a light slate. It wasn't that many games. I really didn't like a lot of stuff on the board. I mean, I did find some value. Some of my picks from the earlier video hit. Some of them didn't. But I was able to cash in. I would have cashed in a lot more if it wasn't for Mr. Danny Green. He was projected to have PrizePicks had him at 2.5, and he hit 2 threes. I think this is another situation where I think it's the coach's fault. It's the rotation. It's the coach's fault. I really don't know what Doc Rivers was thinking. Like the fourth quarter, yeah, it was like a blowout in the beginning, but they started catching up, and they never brought the starters back in. I mean, it was close enough for them to play the starters, and Danny Green didn't play at all in the fourth. He had two three-pointers in the first 3 quarters. So I feel like if he would have played, he would have hit. He would have made that one more three that we needed. But he didn't play at all in the fourth quarter, so that killed 2 on my lines. And there were 2 5-pick flexes that I had that I would have hit 10 times. I still doubled up, but I would have hit 10 times on 2 of them, and I would have made an extra $400 or $500 tonight. But that's the way it is every night, so it's not a surprise. You know how that goes. And as you can see, our Discord's going off right now. Make sure if y'all guys are looking for a chat room, something that's dedicated strictly to PrizePicks, go ahead and join our Discord. We're getting more and more active in there. We're getting more and more users. We're over 100 users, I think, now. And it's just every day we're sharing more and more picks, and picks from different sports, because NBA is not always going to be here. But when NBA is gone, we got baseball, we got gaming, we got golf, we got other sports. Soccer, so we share it all in there. Every day we help each other make money, so if you're looking for something like that, make sure you join the Discord below. And so yeah, that's kind of like my recap. I mean, Danny Green messed up my night. I also would have won another winner. I had Bacon going under in the fourth, and he did not play at all in the fourth quarter. I figured he would get a couple minutes at least. I didn't see him going over at all, but he didn't get no minutes, so I had him going under. But I was just hoping he would get a couple minutes just so I can get the under, but he didn't play at all. So that's gonna be a refund, because I had a 2-pick power on that one. But yeah, overall, again, it was a great night for me. I seen a lot of a lot of the popular plays out there didn't hit. Some of them. It's just like that every night. It's just something crazy happens every night. There's always some kind of letdown. I seen a lot of people lose by 0.5, a half a point. I lost by 0.1. I had a first quarter line, a first half line. Everybody hit, and one missed by 0.1, and that was Danny Green again. But yeah, it was just another crazy night. So let's go ahead and get into it. I heard there was a glitch earlier. I heard PrizePicks had like 30 people on the board, but that didn't last long. So we're down back to our normal 8 people on the board. At first, we got Mr. Damian Lilliard. So, yeah, he's going up against Detroit, 12th ranked overall, 4th ranked versus his position, so it's not really a good matchup. They have him at 44, which just seems so low for him. Like, usually he's around 48. But I guess with CJ coming back, it probably bites into that a little bit, maybe because he hasn't been getting there lately. Let's take a look. So, his last 5 versus Detroit, he's gone over just 2 times. In his last 4, he's played in 4 games, gone over twice. His last 5 games overall, he has not gone over 44. So yeah, you can definitely see that CJ's cutting into that. He looks like, from what I've been paying attention the last couple of games, he's been dishing it out more. He's been he's taking that distributor role now with CJ back. Also got Norman Powell, takes a lot of shots as well. So he's not scoring like he was without CJ. So at 44, Draft Dashboard likes him for the over, which is, most of the time Draft Dashboard is under on a lot. At 46.4, so 44, 46, they like him like 2 points over. I think for me this is a fade because I mean he can go over at any time, but just his last 5 games he has like 240s in there. He hasn't come close to this, and it's not a good matchup. So I would fade or either play on the under because CJ's taking a lot of usage. Like again, we got Norman Powell. If I had to play, I would probably play on the under. Maybe tomorrow if it goes down some, you play him on the over. But for me, if I had to play Damian Lillard, I would play him on the under. Next we got JERAMI Grant versus Portland, 36, which is kind of low for him. I mean, he used to be around 38. Alright, so they're 22nd ranked overall, but 6th ranked versus his position. So definitely not a good matchup. The pace is not a good one. Wow, his last 5 games, he got 217 burgers in his last 5 games. That's not good. He's only gone over once in the last 5, and his last 5 versus Portland, he's never gone over. Draft Dashboard has him projected at 33.6. The matchup's not good. See, JERAMI Grant playing power forward, he's going to be guarded by Covington. And Covington's a beast on defense. I see Covington putting the clamps on him. So I really, really, really like this pick for the under. I mean, yeah, it's a little risky, but Covington is a beast, man. Portland is one of my favorite teams to cash in on because I follow them because they're always, for the most part, they're always in the late games. You know, unless they come on the East Coast, but they're always the late games. So I follow them because I'm playing the second half and I'm playing fourth quarter. So I see Covington just clamping people, and I see Covington getting steals, getting blocks. I mean, he does sometimes get in foul trouble. So I mean, if he does get in foul trouble early, maybe Grant has a chance here. But I don't see Grant going over versus Covington. That's just my opinion. So they're projecting him at 33.6. I like him for the under as well. And it looks like that's going to be one of my favorite plays because I just feel like Covington's going to clamp him. That's my opinion now. I hope Covington don't let me down. All right, next we got Jimmy Butler versus Indiana. They're projected at 46. All right, so 20th ranked, 13th ranked overall, so not really a good matchup for Jimmy. His last 5 versus Indiana, so he had a 48 in there, and that game was about 4 games ago. He had a 48 and a 50, so he's gone over 2 times in the last 5. His last 5 games overall, he's only gone over once, and that was against Indiana. And I don't know if Bam might have not been playing in that game. I don't remember. He might have not played in that game. So they have him projected for 47.5. In his last game, he had a 44. So I mean, based on his last game and his last game versus them, I mean, he was right there. I could see Jimmy getting over. I mean, versus Indiana, this looks like one of those, like, you know, slow, grinded out. I mean, the paces, they don't have the paces, okay, I guess, but it just seems like, you know, gritty, like grinded out kind of game. Should be a close game from the looks of it. I could see him getting close to a triple-double. I could see him. I mean, he needs to get back on it. He's been off his game lately. So one of these games, he's going to break out again. So hopefully he's going to be on this one. If I had to play Jimmy, I will play him on the over. And guys, I always say if, because this is all that's on the board. No single stats. Only will have one website with projections. No research. So that's why I would say if. So I'm just giving y'all guys what I would do if I had to play these guys. So if I would play Jimmy, I would play him on the over. It's hard for me to bet against Jimmy. I know he hasn't been playing up to par lately, but it's really hard for me to bet against Jimmy because I've always betted him on the over, and he's hit about 70-75% of the time. Like, he rarely lets me down, and when he does, he's really close to what he's supposed to get. So I would go over on Jimmy. Next we got Sabonis versus Miami. He's projected at 44. 9th ranked overall, 11th ranked versus his position, so it's not really a good matchup. And his last game out, he had a 36 versus Miami. So he's not gone over versus Miami in his last 5 games overall. He's gone over 1, 2, 3. He's 3 out of 5. But versus Miami, he only had a 36. Draft Dashboard has him projected at 44. And he's right at 44. So this would be a push for me. I wouldn't touch it because, I mean, he's had some, he has some monster games. He's coming off of a 58-point game. He's coming off a 58-point game, had a 45 right before it, but against them he only had a 36. But I've done so much research where, you know, versus the team he's never done good, and then you pick him for the under, and then they just blow up, and you're like, well, that's not supposed to happen because his last 3, 4, 5 games versus that team he didn't do good. So it's hard because you have all the stats that back up, you know, going under or going over, and then I don't know where they just have a good game. I mean, you got to be cautious on everything. You got to really think about it because, you know, research will show you this, and then they just do the total opposite. We know that happens a lot. But anyways, I would push it. I wouldn't touch it because his last game wasn't a good one versus them. But then again, he scores, he rebounds, he assists, he gets blocks. I mean, he could easily go over 44. I mean, I've seen this guy score, you know, 30 fantasy points in one quarter. I mean, he's one of the, you know, the top power forwards. They have him at center here, but he's a power forward. I wouldn't touch it. If I had to play it, again, I would have to go on the over. I'm going to bet on these guys. I won't go under on them. Even though he went under last game, I'm not going to go under on him again, but I wouldn't touch it. To me, that's a fade. I'm going to push him. I would push him and push Lillard right now. I wouldn't touch those two guys. Jimmy's kind of high too, based on what he's been doing lately, so that might be a push for you as well. I would not bet the under on Jimmy. I'm never going to do that. Next, we got Luka at 53. And he's going up against Boston. Alright, so they're 7th ranked, 9th ranked overall. So I wonder if Marcus Smart would cover him. I know Marcus Smart's probably a couple inches shorter than him, but, you know, Marcus Smart's good defensively. So his last 5 versus Boston, he's gone over 2 out of 4. He's only played 4 games. His last 5 games overall, he has not gone over. Well, he's really had some bad games as of late. Bad games for him. Draft dashboard has him projected at 47.3. Way under this. Whew. Yeah, I really don't like to play the under on Luka either, but based on the matchup, based on what he's done against them, let's see, he has 2 games that he went over on 2 games against them. Based on his last 5, I mean, I think this would be another push for me. I think I wouldn't play Luka because we know that Luka can go off. He does everything as well, but it's not a good matchup for him. But his last 2 games, he has gone. Well, he had 1 over, right? His last 2. No, he went to over twice. Again, if we're going with the superstar thing up here, I mean, maybe you would play him on the over. This one, I'm just not gonna play him. I wouldn't play him. Next, we got Tatum versus Dallas. And so it's 8th ranked overall, 10th ranked versus his position. And his last 5, he's against Dallas, he's only gone over once. His last 5 games overall, he's gone over twice, 2 out of 4. Draft dashboard has him projected at 43.9. It's not really a good matchup. But he did go over his last game, but he's only gone over 1 game against them. I know he had a big game last game out too. His last game, sorry guys, his last game was he dropped a 57 burger. So and right before that he had a 40, then another 56. So he's been playing good lately. But a lot of people go under on Tatum. A lot of people go under, and I see them hit a lot of the times. I think if it was me, this is one of the times that I would go under on him. I don't know if Porzingis would be on him, or you know, if that would help at all. But I think if I had to play him, I would go under. But realistically, I'm not going to play him. I'm not going to play Lillard. I'm not going to play Jimmy, Sabonis. I'm not going to play Luka. I'm not going to play these because this is all full game. Like I said, with full game, I'm really not liking full game anymore. I'm really not. I mean, I know it hits. I know that. But I mean, just I've seen so many full game scores be hindered and be, you know, not go over because of turnovers, because of the coaches. Again, the rotations. I mean, these guys. I mean, again, everything looks good on paper, but these games have to be played, and sometimes these coaches, you know, come out of left field and do a rotation that they've never done before, or if the game's close, if they played a couple back-to-backs or 3 and 4 nights or whatever, I mean, they might rest, especially if the game's close, you know, they might rest a player longer than usual because the game's right there, so, you know, they can take a little bit longer before they bring him in. Or if it's a blowout, obviously the player's not going to play what he's supposed to play. So, I mean, these full games, I'm really not liking the full game fantasy scores too much anymore. Like I said, the motto is single stat is where it's at. I really think that single stat and first half, second half. Guys, I make most of my money on the second half. I mean, if anybody follows me in the Discord, they know that I make a lot of money on the second half. Obviously, I miss just like everything else, just like everybody else. Any little guru out there, they miss a lot. I mean, I see a lot of prop bets, prop bettors, handicappers. Those guys miss too. They have, some of them have like a 50%, 55%. I mean, so people miss. But second half, I mean, that's where I make most of my money. Why? Because I analyze the game in the first half, see who's doing good, see who's on foul trouble, see what the rotations are in the second half. I like playing second half a lot. Like during the day, I see all these people rushing. I see people putting in lines. If you get a single stat that's just like a glitch that, hey, you know what, this guy really averages a lot more than what this single stat says, by all means put it in. But then what happens is you have that single stat and you're rushing single stat, or like a quick, like a full game where a guy's like really, really low and you're rushing to put him in. But what happens is that you put him in, a lot of people do this. They're going to put him in with 4 other people because they want to have that chance at, at the 10 times, or they'll do a 4-pick power. So yeah, you got that early, oh my God, glitch on the single stat on the full game, but then you have to mix them up with 3 to 4 other picks and they don't hit. So what good did it do you to jump on that single stat so early, or on that full game, low score so early, when you're going to throw them in there with 4 other picks that, 2 of them hit? Now you're screwed. Your single stat hit. So if you see something like that, try to find another single stat, or try to find something else. Do a 2-pick power, do a 3-pick power. I mean, I see everybody rushing early. I see guys dropping lines, 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. We don't even have news yet. By the time 6, 7 o'clock comes around, 3 guys in your line are going to DMP because they got scratched, their COVID protocols, blah, 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 rest. I see that happen so much, and then you have your money tied into that, and you're like, damn, I see a lot of guys mad, and I don't really do that, guys. I might put 1 or 2 early lines in. If something that I like early, I'll put it in. It might not even be that heavy. I might not bet heavy on it. I bet light on it. Now I'm waiting. I'm like, I'm a patient player now. Now I'll wait till 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Well, 7 is probably a little too late, but 5, 6:30, or if it's a late game, I'll wait till 8:30 until that news comes through and it says starting lineup. Or I'm waiting for that, and I've cashed in a lot on that, because you'll get those late game scratches where it's like, I don't know where this guy's not playing. Like today, Bradley Beal, he was a game tight decision. So, but PrizePicks was on it today. As soon as Bradley Beal was out, they were on the Wizards players. But yeah, you'll get that late game news, and then you can lock somebody in that's gonna have that usage bump, and you can cash in on that. So, anyways, guys, sorry for my little rant there, or whatever you want to call it. So Tatum again. If I were to play Tatum, I would play him on the under. Next, we got Ja Morant versus Utah, which I know they just played him not too long ago. I don't know. I think it was the last game, wasn't it? Yeah, 4th ranked overall, 5th ranked versus his position. Whew. He's coming off a 16 burger, guys, versus Utah. 16. In his last 5 games, he's gone over 3 times. He's at 36. He's gone over 3 times. Wow. 16 versus Utah. Now that probably was a blowout, I'm not sure, but see, before that he had a 52 and a 43. So I mean, how do you, draft dashboard has him right at 36, 35.9. So how do you, this is how, how do you go about this? Do you go based on his last game versus them, or do you go and say, okay, well, Ja Morant's a good player, he had 16 last time, he ain't gonna let that happen, he's gonna he's gonna go all out on this game, he's gonna make sure it doesn't happen. So what do? Do you bet based on his last game, which was a terrible game, or do you bet saying, okay, he's gonna bounce back now? That's a hard one. I myself, I mean, if I had to bet on him, I probably would bet on the under, just because Utah's a really good team and he just did terrible. I mean, maybe he don't get to 36, maybe he gets to 34 against them. A lot better game than what he had, but he still doesn't hit the over. If I had to bet, I would bet on the under, and I probably would run. It's just a little risky. It's like a little scary, because I just try to, my mentality would be like, hey, this team just shut me the hell out. I'm gonna come back as hard as possible. I don't know what Ja Morant's mentality is, but I would play him on the under if I had to play him, and I'm probably gonna run a 1H, first half line with him under. Next and last, we have Julius Randle at 45 versus Minnesota, so that looks like a good matchup already. Julius Randle hasn't played the last couple games, right? Oh, he's just missed 1 game. 30th ranked, 24th ranked overall. I mean, 30th ranked overall, 24th ranked versus his position. His last 5 versus Minnesota, he's only gone over, what was he at? I'm sorry, 45. So his last 5, he's not gone over, well, he's gone over 45 one time versus Minnesota. His last 5 games overall, he's only gone over 45 one time. Draft dashboard has him projected at 45.8. So again, do we go based on his last couple games where he hasn't done much? He's been, he has some kind of injury that might be lingering. I'm not sure. So on 45, I mean, if I had to play him, everything, normal, he's going to play. I like him for the over because it's a good matchup. I mean, Randall could, he gets assists, he gets rebounds, he scores. I would like him for the over, but based on his last few games, based on him, having this injury or whatever it is that he has, I haven't even, do they have him questionable on here? No, they don't even have him questionable. So, based on this, I mean, I'm not going to play him. I'm not going to touch him tonight. I'm going to wait tomorrow to see if he's going to play. It looks like he's going to play. It looks like he's probable. So, I mean, you could play him tonight. I probably won't touch him. If I had to do a line tonight, I would probably go with Grant over again. I just feel like Covington is going to be guarding him, and Covington's going to put the clamps on him. So I would go Grant under, Tatum under, probably Morant under. I just like all the unders tonight. I mean, Morant under, and one of these 3 guys here, I would go on the over. These guys I like for the over. Randall, Sabonis, Butler. Luka looks 53 looks very low, but I mean, from what I hear about Boston, they like double teaming the superstars. So I don't really know if I would touch that. Lillard looks low at 44, but since CJ came back into the picture, I don't know if you can trust him right now. I'm saying we have to see some more games. So yeah, I really don't like anything on the board. I mean, I don't like the board tonight, and that's happened a lot lately, where the board is just not. It used to be to where like I can look at 4 picks on here quick and do a quick 4-pick line, throw $10 on it, and the next day, I would have $100 off an early line. But right now, I'm not really liking it. Some of these numbers look low, but then again, that's a lot of different situations than it was earlier this season. Lillard played a lot without CJ. He was crushing. Now it's not the same. John Morant coming off a bad game versus Utah. I mean, would you be confident picking the over on John Morant? I'm not. So I would go Grant under, Morant under, Tatum under, and then I would pick one of these. I mean, if I had to pick, I would pick one of these guys. Probably Randall, based on his matchup. I like Randall the most because he has the best matchup. So I would go Grant under, Grant under, Tatum under, Morant under, and Randall over. That would be my line. So anyways, guys, like I said, if you're looking for a community to join, if you're looking for a chat room dedicated strictly to PrizePicks, join our Discord below. Everything is free in there. I'm not charging for anything. Like I said, in the future, I'm planning on doing some kind of service for people. But at this point in time, we're not charging for nothing. We share all kinds of different picks in there. We love helping each other, and we build each other up. We're confident in each other. We go along with each other's picks. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, hey, you know what? We'll get them next time. So if you're looking for something like that, hit the invite, join the Discord. Guys, please hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to the video, to the channel. Hit the little bell icon so you can be alerted when these come out. I appreciate y'all guys. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the subscribers. I'm looking to hit 200 subscribers by the end of April. I really think we can do it. It's looking better and better each day. I'm feeling good about it, and I'm getting a lot of feedback that a lot of this stuff is helping people. Some of my single stats, some of my picks are helping people cash in, and that really makes me feel good, guys. That really makes me feel good, and I'm really, ever since I've been doing these videos, I try to do one during the day and one at night. I've been losing a lot of sleep to do these, but when I see that y'all guys are hitting and y'all guys are making money off of it, it's worth it. It's worth it because somewhere somebody's making something that they might have not had. If they can, hit cash in on a $500 winner, withdraw it, and pay a car payment or help pay a mortgage or rent or whatever it is, I know I've helped somebody and I feel good about it. So I appreciate y'all guys. And like I said again, please like, because likes really do help with the algorithm of YouTube and all that stuff, really help the video get out there. So I appreciate y'all guys, and I'll see y'all guys tomorrow with my top 5. Have a great night.